this is a second condition, that is emphysema is the second condition which results in obstructive disorder, and that there is one more condition which results in obstructive disorder, that is, let us consider these are the airways, and in these airways there will be accumulation of fluids in this area. And ultimately it results in asthma. This is asthma. These are the three conditions which results in obstructive disorders, and out of these three, how many types of or how many number of these disorders can be included under COPD disease, that is chronic obstructive pulmonary disorders. Now these two, that is chronic bronchitis and emphysema, can be included under chronic obstructive pulmonary diseases. These two are included under chronic obstructive pulmonary disorders, and in case of obstructive disorders, the size of the kidney will get increased. The size of the kidney will get increased, and there will be defect in the airways. These reticular structures are the airways, and the density of these parenchymal cells and alveoli will get decreased. This is obstructive disorder in which the size of the lung will get increased and density of the fibrin or density of the parenchymal cells inside the lungs will get decreased. This is obstructive disorder, and this is restrictive disorder. And if we plot a graph, in normal conditions, in normal lung, this is the graph of expiration, and in case of obstructive disorders, the graph will be like this, and in case of restrictive disorders, the graph will be like this. This is restrictive, and this is normal, and this is obstructive disorder. These are the graph in which this is volume of air. Here it consists of time interval. This is time, and this is volume. And if we discuss about the graph under spirometers, let us discuss the graph under spirometers. This is tidal volume, and this is expiratory reserved volume, and this is inspiratory reserve volume. From here to here, this is called tidal volume. This is tidal volume, that is 0.5 liters, and this is expiratory reserve volume. This is expiratory reserve volume, which is 1.2 liters, and from here to here, that is reserved volume, that is 1.2 liters, and from here to here, from here to here, this is inspiratory reserve volume. Inspiratory reserve volume, which is 3 liters, and from here to here, this is called this graph is called tidal or vital capacity. This graph is vital capacity, which includes 3 plus 3.5 plus it includes 6 liters. This is normal graph under normal conditions of spirometer, which includes tidal volume, that is 0.5 ml, and expiratory reserve volume, that is 1.2 liters, and reserve volume, that is 1.2 liters, and from here to here, that is functional residual volume. Functional residual volume, which includes 1.22 plus 1.2, that is 2.2 liters. It includes 2.2 liters. This is under normal condition, whereas in case of restrictive disorder conditions, if we plot a graph, this is tidal volume, and as we know that whenever these restrictive disorders are arised, then the expiratory reserve volume will get decreased. Here this is the expiratory reserve volume, and whenever this expiratory reserve volume is decreased, ultimately the inspiratory reserve volume will also decrease. This is inspiratory reserve volume, and from here this is a graph of restrictive disorders under spirometer, and here in case of restrictive disorders the tidal volume is 0.5, it is normal, and expiratory reserve volume is only 1 liter, and the reserve volume will be only 1 liter. Here reserve volume is 1.2 liters, whereas in case of restrictive disorders reserve volume is only 1 liter. So total functional residual volume, that is functional residual volume, will be only 2 liters, and here inspiratory reserve volume, from here to here inspiratory reserve volume will be only 2.5 liters or 2.7 liters. So ultimately the vital capacity will be decreased to 5 liters. Here it is 6 liters and here it is only 5 liters. This is the graph under restrictive disorders, and if we plot a graph against to the obstructive disorders, these are tidal volumes, and here if the air walls are damaged, then more amount of air will be entered into inner side, and the air which has to expelled out will be decreased, and there will be accumulation of air inside the lungs, that is expiratory reserve volume will be decreased, and residual volume inside the alveoli or inside the lungs will get increased. Ultimately the expiratory reserve volume will get decreased, that is expiratory reserve volume will get decreased, and inspiratory reserve volume will also get decreased. This is tidal volume and expiratory reserve volume, and this is inspiratory reserve volume. From here to here it is vital capacity. Now as we discussed that here the functional residual volume is 2.2, whereas the functional residual volume is 2, and here the functional residual volume will get increased. Let us consider this is the end point, and the residual volume here will be 3 liters. Residual volume will be 3 liters, and expiratory reserve volume is 4 liters, and ultimately 1 liter, 1 plus 3, that is functional residual volume will be 4 liters. Here the functional residual volume is 4 liters, and here the functional residual volume is 2.2 liters, and here the functional residual volume will be 2.2 liters. This is the graph under the spirometers of obstructive disorders and normal functions of lungs, and this is restrictive disorders, and this is basics of graphs under the spirometers. And if we discuss about the curves under time, let us plot a graph. Here it includes time and here it includes volume. Now let us consider a patient is forcibly inspired air into a body and he is allowed to expire forcibly. It's after certain time. Here the time is 1, so here 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and here it includes volume. Then if a person is allowed in forceful inspiration, after forceful inspiration the person is allowed to undergo forceful expiration, then the graph will be like this. The graph will be like this, and this is total, so this is FRV, forced residual volume, that is 6 liters in normal conditions. That is 6 liters in normal conditions. And here we have to note that one point. This is under normal condition. Let us consider at time 1 second, this is the amount of, at time 1 second the amount of air which is expelled out will be this much, that is 5 liters. Now the amount of air which is expelled out during 1 second is called force expiratory volume 1, FEV. This is FEV and this is FRV, force expiratory volume and force residual volume. Now we have to take ratio between these FEV1 and FRV1. The ratio between FEV1 and FRV1. Now that is FEV1 is equals to 5 and FRV is 6, ultimately 0.8 or 80%. The ratio between force expiratory volume 1 and at one time and force residual volume should be greater than 80 or 80%. Then it is normal condition. This is normal condition. If we discuss about restricted volume, restricted disorders, this is under normal condition. And if we discuss about this condition in restrictive disorders, this is the graph, and here in case of normal condition the final or forced residual volume is 6 liters, but here the force residual volume will get decreased, that is it will be decreased to 5 liters. It will be decreased to 5 liters, and here it includes time and it includes volume. And here the same condition, the person is allowed to take forceful inspiration, and after that a person is allowed to leave the forceful expiration. And here it will be the graph like this. Here 1 second, 2, 3, 4 and 5. This is also same graph in which but the difference is force residual volume is 6 liters and here the force residual volume is only 5 liters in case of restrictive disorders. And here the time consuming, the air which is expelled out at 1 second is FEV1, that is 4 liters, and here FRV is 5 liters, and here the ratio will be FEV1 divided by FRV, that is 4 by 5. It is also includes 0.8, that is 80%. It includes 80%. Now the ratio is 80% and it is in normal condition. There will be, this is normal condition in case of restrictive disorders, and there is no abnormalities in this graph. And if we come to the obstructive disorders, here it includes time and here it includes volume. Now as we increase the size of, in obstructive disorders, the size of the lung is increased and ultimately the total capacity or total capacity of the lung will get increased, that is it also includes 6 liters, and ultimately the graph of the obstructive disorders will be like this. graph of the disorder, obstructive disorder will be like this, and 1, 2, 3, 4 at 5 seconds. Now let us consider the same condition here. The amount of air which is expelled out during 1 second is 3 liters, that is FEV1, and this is FRV. If we consider the ratio between these two, FEV1 divided by FRV is equals to 3 by 6, that is 0.5, or percentage will be 50%, that is less than 80%. So there is disorder or there is abnormalities in obstructive disorder. The abnormalities can be examined from this graph. So these graphs are useful for examining the disorders in obstructive disorders and restrictive disorders, and this is about abnormalities in graphs. And let us discuss one more types of graphs. Flow of air curve. The graph is flow of air curves under normal conditions. Let us consider under normal conditions. This is expiration and this is inspiration, and here it includes volume, that is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It includes 6 liters of air, and it is expiration and it is inspiration. Here the person is allowed to take forceful inspiration at normal condition. Here this is under normal condition, the graph will be like this, and this is forceful inspiration, that is forceful in F5, that is forceful inspiration. And after taking forceful inspiration, the person is allowed to undergo forceful expiration. Now the person cannot undergo forceful expiration, but the air which is expelled out during initial time will be high. This is high, and as the time will be gradually increased, then this curve will be going like this. This is the time interval, or this is the graph of expiratory volume, and this is inspiratory volume under normal conditions. And this is under normal conditions. And if we discuss about restrictive disorders, zero, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is expiration and this is inspiration. And here the initial volume will be 0, or it will start from 1, but in restrictive disorders the initial volume will be starting from more than 1. So ultimately the graph will be like this. And there is, as we know that there is in restrictive disorders the size of the lung is decreased, and ultimately the total capacity will be decreased. So there will only maximum capacity is between 5 to 5.5 liters. And then this is forceful inspirations, and after forceful inspirations the person is allowed to undergo forceful expirations. It also follows the same reaction, that at initial times the expiration will be at peaks level, and as time goes partially, then the peaks will get decreased. This is the condition. The size of the graph will get decreased in case of restrictive disorders, and in normal, this is normal condition and this is restrictive disorders. And if we come to the obstructive disorders, this is obstructive disorders, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And this is expiration and this is inspiration. So in obstructive disorders the size of the lung will get increased and total capacity of the lung will get increased, and ultimately whenever the person is exposed to forceful inspiration, this is the curve, that is total capacity will be increased, that is forceful inspiration. This is the curve of forceful inspiration, and whenever the person is allowed to undergo forceful inspiration, then the volume will get increased, and after forceful inspiration the person is allowed to undergo forceful expiration. Now the curve under forceful expiration will be at initial times the here forceful expiration will be less than these two conditions, because here the air sacs are damaged, so ultimately there will be no expiration when compared to these two cases. So this is at peak level at initial times, and as time goes gradually the peak will get decreased. This is a condition. This is a condition of obstructive disorders, and this is a condition in restrictive disorders, and this is normal function test. This is our pulmonary function test under ventilation process, that is, this is normal condition in which there is no abnormalities here, and this is restrictive disorders, and these are obstructive disorders. In restrictive disorders there will be no abnormalities in the airways, and there will be only abnormalities in the underlying cells, that is parenchymal cells and alveoli. But and here the size of the lung will get decreased, and in obstructive disorders there will be only damage to the airways, and there will be no damages to the parenchymal cells, and ultimately the size of the lung will get increased, and the total capacity of the lung will get increased, and there will be dense, here the dense material is present, here the dense material is absent. This is the differences between obstructive disorders and restrictive disorders. And here one more point, in case of obstructive disorders and restrictive disorders, in obstructive disorders total capacity, that is total capacity of the lung will get increased, whereas in obstructive disorders the total capacity of the lung will get decreased. And next one, in case of obstructive disorders functional residual volume will get increased, and in case of restrictive disorders functional residual volume will get decreased. And in case of reserved volume, in obstructive disorder reserved volume will be increased, and in restrictive disorders the reserve volume will get decreased. Here the reserve volume will get decreased. And next point, that is in vital capacity, in case of obstructive disorders the vital capacity will be increased, and in case of restrictive disorders the vital capacity will get decreased. These are some basic points which differentiate between the obstructive disorders and restrictive disorders. In obstructive disorders the total capacity will get increased, and here the total capacity will get decreased, and functional residual volume will get increased from 6 to 8 liters, and from 2 to 2.5 liters, and functional residual volume will get decreased from 2.2 to 2 liters, and reserve volume will get increased, and here reserve volume will get decreased, and here vital capacity will get increased, and here vital capacity will get decreased. These are basic informations of pulmonary function test.